The one distinguishing thing about all of you that are watching this is you, is your life. There's one of you with your personality, your thought, your look, your struggle, your circumstances, your achievements, your failures. There's only one of those. And that's interesting to people.
Hey, Ed, thank you so much for answering a question for me. I feel very blessed and honored to be winning your 2-minute drill. I know this is like a dream come true. Consistency is key. You always talk about it. And my question for you, Ed, is what is your biggest tip when it comes to somebody who's an entrepreneur and they don't have much of a social media presence? What is your biggest tip on growing your personal brand on social media? Maybe to attract clients or even just great associations to help grow your business. And so thank you again, Ed. I feel very honored. And max out, brother.
Caleb, great question, brother. You know, I'm branding and social media. I think so often people think, well, why would anybody want to follow my social media? Because I'm not yet at a level of success that, say, maybe you perceive that I've had. But what I will tell you is that people want to root for other human beings. And the more that you can begin to document your life as opposed to just, you know, creating content, I think you'll find that you'll begin to build a following. And so what most people try to do is they try to be an influencer, if you will, by creating content, you know, posting these memes that are motivational or their own version of a video like what I might do. And there's nothing wrong with doing that per se, but it's going to be very difficult to get a lot of following because when people are watching, they're going to be going, yeah, but why aren't you there yet? And it's not really the fastest way to build a following anyway. The fastest way to build a following is to document your life. You'd be surprised by how interesting you are. And the reason you're interesting to most people is because you may be more like them than you realize. So there's all kinds of people that have become very, very successful on social media by just documenting their journey. You're a young man, Caleb, be able to get up and document, hey, the struggles that you're having. Hey, it's been a really hard week for me. I've missed 2 or 3 sales. You know, I've kind of lost my mojo. Pray for me. You know, I'll update you after this next sales call. And people are like, hey, how'd the sales call go? Right? And they begin to follow your journey towards success. People that are, you know, that have lost a lot of weight, that have documented it on Instagram, people begin to root for you. They begin to want to see you successful. And Caleb documenting that you know, just, hey, I just had a great visit with a client and this is what's just taken place for me, or this is the difference I was able to be made. I feel so good about myself. Always wanted to help people. And so documenting more of what's going on. There's so much stuff on social media that's like, hey, here's my picture of me eating whatever. Here's me celebrating. Here's a filter there. Here's my tip on how to do this. All of that's great, but just documenting. Hey, I just woke up in the morning. You got bedhead. Man, I'm 20 minutes late. Any of you ever wake up 20 minutes late? It's not part of my routine. I got to get it going this morning. I'll double my efforts later, right? It's that stuff. You go, I relate to that guy. How did you get over it? And you begin to teach through documentation more than just teach through the lessons you have. You know, if you think about it, you're competing on social media with a lot of other people, right? And so if you're just posting what everybody else is posting, how do you distinguish yourself? The one distinguishing thing about all of you that are watching this is you, is your life. There's one of you with your personality, your thought, your look, your struggle, your circumstances, your achievements, your failures. There's only one of those. And that's interesting to people. It's not just interesting to people who already know you, by the way. And so the other thing I would be thinking about too is, can you create things that will be shared? Social media growth now is more and more, it's less really about likes and comments, and it's more about shares. Are you creating content that people will share? And so that's why I believe documentation matters, because if I'm a parent of a young entrepreneur and I stumble upon your struggle as an entrepreneur and your journey, I'll share it with my young entrepreneur children, if that makes sense, right? And so, or if I'm, you know, in the recruiting type business and you're struggling with getting recruiting going and I've got friends in those types of business, I can share that content. So be conscious of creating things that people would want to share and be conscious of documenting. And then the third thing is you have to be consistent. You know, most people will stop posting consistently when it's not getting engaged with. They just do. If they don't see growth after a week or 2 or 4 or 5 weeks, you have to post every single day, right? And if that's on Instagram, if that's your story, it's multiple posts a day. It doesn't need to be a lot. There's a nuance. If you've got a certain amount of followers, you're going to want to post a certain amount of times a day. You don't need to post 20 stories a day when you have 3,000 followers. What you're going to get is people clicking through your stories And you don't want click-throughs on the algorithm because then they won't show your stories to people. So you want to have a selective amount of stories relative to your following. And I think you should be making a main post in your main feed every single day with something that you're at least staying in contact with people where you stay in their consciousness. And then the other thing I would say lastly is not all branding needs to be social media, right? It's a highly competitive place. Think about alternative ways other than just posting. Could you create a blog? Could you create an email newsletter? Could you create a vlog on YouTube where you're documenting? You know, I've had Josh Richards on my show from Sway House. I've actually had Bryce Hall also from Sway House. These are young TikTok guys that are influencers with 20 million plus followers. They're just average, ordinary young men documenting their life. And so guess who follows them? Millions of average, ordinary young people watching their life happen. And so that's the formula now on social media, is documenting a life. You could be Bryce Hall and think, why would any 22-year-old want to follow me? I'm just like every other 22-year-old. That's the point, right? That's the point. Seeing them have fun, seeing them overcome, seeing them do goofy things. In that case, is not only will people follow it because it's documented, it's shareable. And so be thinking about documenting and having shareable content and doing it consistently. That would be my formula for helping you grow your brand on social. Max out. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. If you'd like more, click the videos right here. They're exactly what you need to see next. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and become a part of the Max Out community. And tell me what you think about the videos in the comments below. I read all of them every week, and I select winners that get all kinds of prizes, gear, coaching calls with me. Make a comment.